Hello on YouTube. Hello on Twitch, and welcome to another episode of my Singularity Let's Play series. This is Northstar. I hope you're well, are taking care of each other, and being kind to yourselves. For those new to my channel, welcome. Returning viewers, welcome back. Let's grab any upgrades as I can here. For new viewers, you can find this and all my other series in playlists on my YouTube channel. Oh, Darwinian. Nice. Organized from oldest to newest videos, so you can watch stuff in chronological order. Do check it out. If you're on YouTube, you can check me out on Twitch. You can find the newest stuff there. Sometimes there's buffers on a lot of these series, so what you see on YouTube is not the most recent. If you're interested, if you want to see the latest, not necessarily greatest, but latest thing. Okay. Probably shouldn't go too deep into upgrades here. Reset relatively soon. Just boom, boom, boom. Few upgrades for mammals, maybe. Reptiles. Right. That'll get a little bit in the way of upgrade points when I reset again very soon. I don't know, maybe that was pointless because the rate is so slow compared to the cost of an upgrade, but maybe not. I have to check to see how many upgrade points I actually have by the time I should do the reset here in just a couple minutes probably. Might wait a little longer than nanobot because it's not that long to get interest here. Oh yeah, let's do that. Actually, commodity currency is gaining interest on itself at a substantial rate. Interesting. I'll pull that lever very soon. See how much a lever pull gets me here. I'm going to be waiting while for others. Let's try a commodity currency pull. Anyways, new viewers, you should also know I have COVID, so I always track my train of thought and strategy. So I'll try for at least a few minutes this video to not talk about that too much, other than to say I apologize in advance for how that affects things. Trying to keep it entertaining though, so hope it is a blast. Really, I'm not the most natural entertainer, but this is something I can try and hopefully monetize eventually and survive using. Ooh, that's nice. 3 commodity currency from 1 lever pull. She made completely like clockwork. Right. No viewers currently. There's almost no one watching anything. And, I mean, it is Christmas, so people are probably with family. Wish I could be with family, but with them are having their areas, abuse to the end, nasty, and yeah, that's just was not going to happen. And Ken and did go so far as to threaten violence against me when I was staying with them because I told them that their doctors were not trying to kill them, and that they're being paranoid, and he was never going to let me visit for Christmas, not even a chance, even though they could have if they wanted. car, and yet they wouldn't even pick me up to, if talked about maybe doing dinner after Christmas on a day at a restaurant, and wouldn't even pick me up to drive me there. Selecting one near me, pick me up, drive that restaurant, drop me back off, and then go back to my car. I mean, it's literally my car. If I had it myself, they needed to get to work, I could easily drive myself around. I'm sure in the generosity of when I had my car, and they still wouldn't even do that. They're just very selfish person. But turn the other cheek and help how you can. Most people wouldn't do the same in my place, unfortunately. In fact, I live in a society that blames the victims. I'm a little bit annoyed because when chat with a dating app and then moved to Instagram, they were saying I mentioned I have a violent, aggressive roommate, and they're like, "What did you do? What'd you do?" I'm like, "Nothing. This person has just been threatening me for a reason." And I'm like, "I'm a little bit scared of you because you told me that." It's like, I've done nothing. This person's been threatening me. It's just we have a society that wants to blame the victim to the point of someone has threatened me repeatedly. Oh, you must have done something. No. It's always the people who are the victims who are getting blamed, though, or culture. It's ridiculous. Of course, I think this person is just, actually meeting up. I'd be approaching him as just chickening out of it and looking for excuses. I see this kind of avoidant behavior. I mean, anyone who's still single at close to my age, usually they're avoidant and they just make excuses when anyone gets too close. Often, even when they're going to meet someone, they'll suddenly have reasons why they can't. Could be a scammer, too. I suspect this person could also be a scammer. Namely, the dating app sent me a message saying the person better move for fraudulent possible scam behavior, although I think it was pretty sure since they tried to move to Instagram almost immediately that someone reported that and they consider it suspicious behavior. So the person just didn't know that would get them banned, but it could actually be a scammer. I wish they would tell me details and I could decide for myself, okay, yeah, I'm not going to talk to this person more. But that person could just be a scammer, in which case they're going to always have excuses not to meet, but still try and build a emotional connection so that they can try and, I don't know, get money out of me. If they're a scammer, that's what scammers do. So, anyways, and there's a different person I might be being with who's clearly an honest, authentic person, although I learned my whole backstory, including the, full scope of how much long code affects me. There can be some really nice people, but they just don't want to form a long-term relationship with someone with long COVID, and therefore they don't want to waste their time at my age, so they won't date. It's like, I didn't choose to be disabled, and it'd be nice if more people invited someone for how they can make them feel and be emotionally supportive and stuff, rather than only their earning potential. Money isn't everything in life. They're earning really good money, and generally the people who I get matched with and stuff and seem to have any interest in me tend to be very high earners anyway. So it's like, you're earning a ton of money, and I'm doing my very best to actually build a YouTube Twitch stream so I can earn money myself someday. Again, I was already on the verge of becoming a physician when I got able to call COVID, so I've always been ambitious and hardworking. Then, show some respect for that, and maybe I'll be earning money too someday, but I'm trying, I'm doing the right thing. Of course, it also makes me very inexperienced with dating, so maybe if I was more experienced, I would be able to have better luck finding people. But I had a stifling abusive childhood, so I wasn't able to really date through high school. And then when you got to college, I had no experience dating, and I spent time at a school that was almost entirely like dating was not possible. I'm not gonna say why, it's too specific to school. There aren't many schools like that, but anyways, let's say for reasons of religion or gender diversity or other reasons where I went to college initially before I transferred out, dating was a non-option. When I got to where I went to undergrad and actually graduated, then I was already a sophomore and had no dating experience. Some freshmen did, but they very quickly made up for that. Expected by sophomore year. Plus I spent all my time studying for reading and debating intellectual stuff because I saw college as an opportunity to intellectually flower in that. I did. And many of my professors consider me brilliant. Although I was less interested in doing what was reading always what was necessary for the classes and just more saying my curiosity and growing a wide variety of knowledge, which I did. I could have probably buckled down more just the classes if I'd known how brutal the world was outside of college, number one, and number two, hadn't had abusive upbringing where I just it's hard enough for me, study. Studying exactly what you needed to ace a test rather than more often I was studying stuff that was for the class material subject, but it wasn't what you needed to know for the exam. I was just, was deeply interested in, say, taking a philosophy class and reading not the parts I knew would be tests on the exam, but parts that were in, the books that were signed or related to it. I was more interested in the subject matter being taught than knowing what I need to know for the exam. A lot of gunners, so to speak, would just always try and get the A's on exams. Later, when I went to a special master's program after undergrad, grad school, worked as an EMT, went back to grad school, I just buckled down all I did what I need and got straight A's, so I could have probably done that in undergrad, but I believed in a Renaissance man and being widely knowledgeable, and that, just getting straight A's wasn't everything. I mean, it didn't help that a certain family member, they could say this, my father gave me a book when I was growing up that literally espoused such a view, and it deeply influenced me. It's not just, out of nowhere. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, it was called, which actually mocked doing school just to get A's, except that's often what you have to do if you want to get anywhere with, jobs and stuff. It doesn't matter if you know material well, if you don't have the grades, people think you don't. So I developed a deep knowledge of many subjects without getting E's in those subjects. But no one would necessarily believe that without the A's. If I'd realized I was quite like that, and so few people would understand, they would have done differently, but I was young and naive at that age. Young people are stupid. Sometimes. I know some of my viewers are young, so please don't be insulted at this. I'm not saying all young people are stupid. I'm saying they can be. I was. Yeah, learn from my lessons. If you're in college, get those A's. Don't let them tell you the A's don't matter. They're full of it. If you don't get them, you could end up with a very insecure future. Even if you do get them, like I did, was getting straight A's in my special master's, and I got disabled on COVID. You could, but your odds are much better if you get them. If I hadn't gotten disabled on COVID, the A's that was getting my special master's would have definitely perfect grades. I mean, I had not a single class that wasn't A's. Everything was A's. 4.0 GPA. I would have definitely made it to med school. Special master's was in a med school, but I would have definitely made it to an MD program and become a physician. So, yeah, getting high GPAs really pays off. Don't anyone tell you that doesn't matter, or that college is about socializing, whatever. Those are people who didn't get the grades themselves very often, and they're resentful, and they try and rationalize it and tell other young people, mislead them, or they don't, or they went to school in an earlier era where the world was just easier and less competitive. Capitalism has turned everything into a brutal struggle for survival. And while I love to see an end to capitalism, that's not happening soon. If you're a young person going to college, get those A's so you can survive. Encourage people around you. I mean, some people are like, don't be an asshole. Encourage your friends to get A's too. Encourage everyone to stay really hard. Professors might be annoyed when everyone's and start curving stuff, sure, but some professors will, when everyone's doing well on the test, they'll just give everyone A's. If they'll have a curve, but there's a straight grading that they won't ever curve down. You're lucky, hope you have professors like that. Because if everyone knows knowledge very well, everyone should be able to get A's. Fortunately, some think that no matter what, they can't give A's to everyone. this is out of the perspective. I mean, this is more in line with capitalists thinking of there have to be some oppressed people. Which unfortunately, the system requires a certain amount of underemployed people, and even people who go to college can end up in that underemployed category or unemployed category. So, alright, yeah, I've had occasionally teachers who would grade curve down if people are doing too well. It's really nasty behavior, and I think it should be banned, honestly. If everyone's getting A's, that'll just force institutions, employers, stuff to find other ways to quantify people's knowledge than grades, which would be a good thing, because there's too much emphasis on them. An excess of success could ironically defeat the excessive focus on GPA. I mean, grade inflation is already reducing the meaning of it, but it severely penalizes people who don't get A's. I actually went somewhere that didn't really do much grade inflation undergrad, but later caved to it, so... because, yeah, they realized the grads were just getting hurt when they were getting lower GPAs for the same work than other schools were. They were just unnecessarily hurting the graduates, and eventually they caved. But not in time to help me, but right after, though, so people might have thought that I went there right before it happened. Right after. Like, they started doing this shortly after I graduated. Worst timing possible, but I've always had horrendous luck in my life, so honestly not surprising. Alright. Not make this a pay fest, though. What am I doing for time? 1642, according to Twitch. That's more or less accurate. Not too long. Working towards Ursary upgrade. Sounds horrible to say working towards Ursary. Reset the simulation again right away. I'm getting a lot of lever pulling, I think. Maybe not. Actually, I should have not. Reset the symbol after this nanobot thing. Probably will. That makes it a little more effective. And I need to go to Lord of the Rings Online videos after this, so yeah. No viewers still on Twitch. Aside. Eventually, I'll get burnt out with the Cells, Plague, Ink Outbreak mode, and Lord of the Rings Online, and then I'll probably switch back to, at some point I'm going to go back to Stars videos, at least for 20-25 year level. I bought a season pass before I was no longer staying with family, and my financial situation was so desperate. I don't know if I should spend, I may have to force myself, I may have to, sometimes I give myself incentive to power through the brutal exhaustion of long COVID to get something done, like paperwork, and I may have sometimes reward myself with a game that I know that I'm going to stream, and so it'll help the streaming too, and so hopefully will someday pay for itself in higher viewers. So I may do the last DLC for Hearts Iron 4, No Compromise, No Surrender. I already had all the others, and stream that at some point. There's still hot fixes for that, but fortunately, the streamers who get on it something right after DLC, usually the ones that pick up lots of viewers. It's probably too late to pick up on that, even though they have to be people who play fast, though, because otherwise they're just all these hot fixes that break their game. So these are people who sit and usually don't have long COVID, stream for 8 or 10 hours a day, whereas I not really even do 4 usually, and that 4 is with lying down and breaks. And they're not as detail oriented as me, and with my long COVID I tend to get obsessed with details, like when I really should just move on and play faster and make mistakes instead of trying to be a perfectionist, which has always been my nature. But this disease has, what it affects is the inhibitory pathways in the brain. So what it does, best I can describe it, is that it turns off the part of my brain that says, nope, I have to stop focusing on this thing and move on to something else. To inhibit anything that would make you tend to say, okay, I can't do that thing. Inhibitory parts of the brain are compromised along COVID. So that's not great. I have more self-control than most people, but I've always tended towards being a perfectionist, and it's probably downright obsessive behavior now with the long COVID at times on details, and that just does not help with, like, you know, if I'm doing a hard Siren 4, I need to play through the whole game in like a month before, you know, top fixes break the version I have, kind of thing. With the new DLC, it's too late, but I should probably try and force myself to do it the next time there's DLC, maybe. To buy it right away, pre-order probably, because there's at least a discount in that, and then hit the ground running and only stream nothing but Hard Siren 4 for like 2 months after, and maybe not even do some of the hotfixes to avoid save breaking, but also play really fast. I don't know if a month is viable to get through, but if I stream nothing but that one game, I could probably get through a campaign in 2 months. Honestly, even with the detail oriented, I could do it in 2 months if I wouldn't get burnt out somewhat. I wouldn't be doing it because I enjoyed it. I mean, I don't stream because I enjoy it. I do it to survive and have a political voice, and yeah, I know some people think it's shitty, but reasons to do some streaming, but wow, to not die. Homeless. Okay, as far as the scientific revolution here, which there was an update they released recently. Let's grab Dust Revolution 2. This will get me enough knowledge. I might be able to get an upgrade or two when I reset this in like 2 seconds. Boom. Let's see, what do I have for... I can buy a few upgrades there, a few here, very few, either. Yeah, alright. It's probably not even hardly worth waiting. Just gonna do it because I need the nanobots for the exploration event. Okay. Can get these cheap upgrades, or I could wait. Try and run this again, and I'm pretty sure even that tiny boost in knowledge converter efficiency will be beneficial. Certainly simulation speed. Okay. I'm gonna keep trying to get upgrades though after this one. I only need like 3 bar fills. I need to do nanobots to this for a little while. There's 3 and probably commodity currency for a tiny bit. No. Just wanted to get that done. Getting close to it. So, what's next? It wouldn't take long to get Roman coins at the rate gain coins. For this lever pull, have to, for maybe on the next nano belts. Start doing coins. I'll do it in this next lever pull, probably though. It's 5 orders of magnitude difference between the cost and the benefit of my currency, so yeah. Alright. Pull. Really? That doesn't even get me past 40 coins. Okay, whatever. The primary simulation to restart again. Pitiful number of entropy metabits I'm getting from the amino acids is not going to get me an upgrade. That's not even a question, but... maybe if I DNA 13 prokaryotic cells, bunch of the upgrades. Maybe this will be enough. Come to actually buy like one metabit upgrade. I reset. I'll see. Probably not. To buy more coins, for sure. Or isn't just not enough to rush towards Roman coinage very efficiently, anyways. Takes still an awfully large number of levels. Enough for one more coin. 42, advance the life, universe, and everything. Yeah. We're earning on the order to the 15 per. So get the metabit rate, see if I can even get it to enough where it's worth waiting a second. 16. Maybe 16 is 15. Or miscalculated for a second. Right. And after all this effort, it's still way or getting 4 to the 15. That's not even notable. Maybe I just need. Oh yeah, I just need Stone Age. Once I get Stone Age, to be metabit generation is much more significant. It's probably because of the pastors. Neolithic. This would be more. Bronze Age. Iron Age. Middle Ages. Revolution. Revolution. Okay, yeah, that's what I have to get. If I get that far, well, I should be able to get a couple of upgrades with each reset. As far as information age, more. Let's see if getting Singularity helps. Oh yeah. Okay. Now I'm really earning metabit stuff. Okay, so really, you want to get the Singularity, then leave it for upgrades. And you get even. Yeah, a few metabit boosters. Interesting. It's not no upgrades. It's very few. I want to just not entirely neglect the main simulation on the resets, even though most go exploration stuff. I need to get as far as Singularity each time before. Well, the rate of exponential growth is abysmal on the exploration. So I'll just rush up towards Singularity here. So main muscles, nervous system, radio, bilateral symmetry, fish, word, gills, lungs, tetrapods, dual legato, warm-blooded. I have to get up this stuff. Get mammals. Missed that little yellow thingamajig. Apes. Brain of ape. Cortex. Just idea? Maybe. No. Humans. Okay. Boom. Still need a decent number of each generator, probably. The point with the rush is just to get the Singularity. Don't really care about anything else. Boom. Each time this number increments from, say, 7 to 8, tells me I can get a new era civilization. Just go right over. Boom. Oh, okay. Still can't. Need to go up to 11. There we go. Right. Oop. Squat. And Singularity, at which point rapid growth. Huh, not that fast. I guess some of these upgrades were key. Alright. We'll need more different new types of generators, but to just snatch up some of these upgrades. Then I can do that. Upgrades, upgrade score. Boom, 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 boom. Alright, check out that metabit rate. It's not bad. That's all I need. Alright. Let's go on. Way long enough for some offline earnings here. Cost of Roman coinage 5 to 6, almost to that. Be able to get that here. Do the last push on it. Boom. And then trying to get Rise Stones, I guess, would be the next thing. Which will massively boost commodity currency, which will turn. Use commodity currency for tiny bit, and then coins. A lot of coins. So the cost of each coin is higher than the previous one, so it doesn't get that much increase in coin. That's still the way you have to go. This just don't take too long. Oh well. Even with the nail bots, I'm not going to get much further. So, I'm just going to put this up for offline earnings. And retire from streaming this for now because I've got to get the Lord of the Rings online before too long. That going. Let's grab the upgrades here. Definitely necessary. Yeah, turtles. Alright, well, whatever. Boom. Probably don't want stations either. They're fairly far down below ungulates and certain upgrades. Get them soon. Patience. Boom. Bunch of the most cost-effective generators here, sorted by value, and swans. I'm not gonna get thermometer in reasonable time. Can get shovel feet though. At least boost amphibians. Issues whether I go for a diminished sight. Oh yeah, get that too. Semi-reasonable time. Shoot, about 37 minutes here. Alright, I'll cut this. I'll grab diminished sight off camera. But viewers on YouTube, viewers on Twitch, I wish you all the best. Take care of each other. Be kind to yourselves. And may you always find a guiding star to lead you home. Until next time, Northstar, do. Best luck to you all.